The Red Sox are 2018 World Series champions, celebrating a title for the fourth time in 15 years. My name is Mike Petralia. This is Adam Kaufman inside a victorious Dodger Stadium for the Red Sox. And after the game, we both had the opportunity to go into the clubhouse, Adam.
Nobody offered us any champagne.
No. Did you get soaked?
I didn't. I was able to avoid the fray. I was out on the field lingering long enough to avoid all that.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing, and I'm sure you'll attest to this. Yeah. It smelled like it had been a celebration.
Yeah, I think so. In fact, one of the things that I asked Xander Bogaerts was, how much does it suck having to talk to us right now when you'd just rather be running around celebrating with your teammates? He said, don't worry, we got plenty of time to celebrate. I don't think we'll be sleeping until the parade.
One guy inside that clubhouse you had to feel very good for was Ian Kinsler. He and Mitch Moreland obviously were on the 2011 Texas Rangers, one strike away against the St. Louis Cardinals, and of course they lost that incredibly excruciating game number 6 and lost game number 7 to the Cardinals. But you had to feel vindicated for Ian Kinsler. Obviously makes the error in game number 3 in the bottom of the 18th inning. And, you know, his message to everybody after the game is, I never lost faith, and more importantly, the guys in here never lost faith in me.
Yeah, you know, you just see it. There are a lot of guys on this team, actually, a half dozen at least, who have been to the World Series and not won. You know, those guys are a couple. David Price had not won a championship before, got there with the Rays way back when in his career. Others as well. Joe Kelly had been in a World Series. So for them to win it, there's a lot of vindication, clearly, for this group. And, you know, I think you heard it a little bit from Price in his press conference, pitching this team not only into the World Series, but to a championship. Mitch Moreland, I was talking to him a little bit prior to this game and saying, look, you've been in this situation a couple of times, but you've not been able to get over the hump. To be just one win away now, what does that feel like? And everybody, to a man, did a really good job just staying in the moment, not getting ahead of themselves, and absolutely, they have to feel great. Why wouldn't they? And especially a guy like Kinsler, because I'm not going to, it was game 3, so I'm not going to say it was his Bill Buckner moment as much as people wanted to make that comparison because it happened on the anniversary of that game back in 1986. There was so much more time left in this series. People won't even remember it now because the Red Sox overall steamrolled the Dodgers in 5 games.
They didn't lose a chance to win the World Series either on that play. Let's talk about Dave Dombrowski. He brings in 2 players, Steve Pearce and Nathan Eovaldi, who had key roles, obviously, on this team, and Kinsler, but let's stick
those two, the positives.
Yeah, let's stick to the positives for now and stick to the obvious ones. Steve Pearce, the World Series MVP, and Nathan Eovaldi, who just pitched his heart out in game number 3 and obviously lost the 18th inning affair. But what does Dave Dombrowski, he brought him in, what does he do with those 2 players going forward as they are both free agents?
Well, if it's up to the fans, which it never is, it would be, you know, back up the Brinks truck for the both of these guys, especially Eovaldi. As much as people love Steve Pearce and what he has done, you got to remember that he's 35. Much of that lineup is going to be intact. You got Dustin Pedroia coming back, so that's going to, you know, shuffle some guys around. Not that Pearce is a second baseman, I know, but you only have so much room for so many guys. Eovaldi, he just to do what he did after Tommy John surgery, and you always knew, like earlier this year, you watched him and the numbers were not great when the Red Sox acquired him by any means, but you saw the potential in terms of ability and the dominating stuff he had. And if you put him in the right setting, the right environment, a team capable of winning, and not only capable, but expected to win, he was going to go out there, throw his 99, 101 mile an hour fastballs, and somehow, some way have just a rubber arm to be able to do it at virtually any time. And so, you know, what does the future have in store for those guys? Ultimately, I don't know. These are the tough decisions that Dave Dombrowski has to make. I spoke with him actually before the game, and just about acquiring those guys, and could you have ever envisioned that they would be so successful? And he said, you hope. You don't know. I've made plenty of acquisitions that haven't worked out that I thought would work out because injury or underperformance or whatever it is. But now to be in this position competing for a championship and to do what they've done on this stage is incredible. And, you know, Tom Werner, one of the owners, another guy that I spoke with after the game, and he said that Dave is, you know, as we've been watching this run unfold, Dave has already been thinking about next season. And so those are a couple key decisions he has to make.
There's no question about that. And we are of the same mind, Adam, that David Price is not opting out, correct?
I don't believe he will, just because I don't see, one, I've said it before. I don't think he loves Boston. We know he doesn't like the media. I'm not even so sure he's crazy about the fans. He loves his teammates. Most of them will be back next year. Alex Cora, he's obsessed with, so he certainly wants to keep playing for him. And most importantly, the guy's 33, and he's due in excess of $30 million each in the next 4 years. Is there another team that's going to pay him that? I don't believe there is. So I think he's going to ride out this payday and hope that he can at least has a couple more good years for this team before people start talking again.
We don't know what 2019 has in store, really, for certain for anything.
You know what Werner told me, though?
What is that?
He said 120 wins.
Really?
Yeah,
so he wants to go 4 better than the Seattle Mariners.
No, overall, 119 this year, 120 next year.
All right.
That's the sequel to the movie.
So the Red Sox obviously want to win back-to-back World Series now for the first time since 1915 and 16. The Red Sox wrap up their 9th World Championship here on Sunday night. 5-1 in game number 5 over the LA Dodgers. What does 2019 have in store? We know one thing for sure. There will be a banner dropped for the 4th time in 15 years at the home opener at Fenway Park. Inside Dodger Stadium, he's Adam Kaufman. I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.